And then I'm going to start the stream. Can you mute quick?
Sure.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Law Dog Sports, the Weekend Big Show. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you 2 days after Christmas, 1 day after Boxing Day, which is a huge holiday for most. Not on this continent necessarily, but it's a huge holiday for most. And we are here with you on a Friday at our regular time and ready to have some fun. I'm joined by my partner now of low 14 or 14. Man, we'll get into my memory issues here in a minute. 5 years. 5 years, Jeremy, at least 5 years. Jeremy Schroeder's been my partner here on this podcast. Jeremy, how are you doing? How was your holidays?
Holidays were good, as they normally are with children. Only a few more years. Baby girl's 16 now, so
wow, that
doesn't seem possible, does it?
No, it really doesn't. And you and I have been friends now for since 2014, I believe, and been doing this show since 2018, at least 2019. But yeah, she was just a little tyke when we first started cohorting. So
she's getting all grown up. It's I need to take exception with something you said. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Boxing Day is celebrated in Canada, which is on the same continent that we reside on.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
So,
it is.
how about
it is
that,
the continent. No, lower 48. How about that?
All right.
Looking to make sure we're streaming on YouTube. We should be. Can you check on that for me as well?
It looks like we're streaming on YouTube. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll see if I can't pull up the stream so we can check out the comments. But we are streaming on our YouTube page, apparently, thanks to confirmation by Jeremy at Law Dog Sports. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, X, and Instagram at Law Dog Sports. And listen to these episodes at your convenience: SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon, and Apple. All those links available on our website, lawdogsports.com. Jeremy, I've got it's weird because high school basketball is going on in Tulsa at the 59th annual Tournament of Champions. And due to streaming rights, our entity that carries Weatherford basketball, which I have been the voice of now going into my fourth season, unable to go broadcast the games from the BOK Center in Tulsa. We did last season, but this season no agreement was reached. And so it's really odd watching high school basketball and not calling the action and being a fan from home. I'm not. I put on Facebook last night, I'm not a good fan of Weatherford basketball from home.
You should have just set up your, got out your podcast set up and called the game. Make Gino listen to it.
Make Gino. That ought to be the title of this episode. Make Gino listen to it. Yeah, so I could have done that. I did keep a running log of scores. That's kind of old habit, but anyway. So Weatherford gets a big win yesterday over the Dale Pirates, and they advance to the semifinals of the Tournament of Champions today, this evening at 8:30 on the Squirtle Network. And so they have exclusive streaming rights to that. It is free. It's not a pay-per-view deal, so can't bash on them too hard. But anyways, just one of those things where it's an odd place for me because I've called these kids. I haven't missed one of these kids' games, since maybe the first season. And I think I had an illness and couldn't make a game, but they are just a really great squad and just a great group of kids. And so hopefully they can, Owasso's a really good team too. So it'll be a big game tonight.
Yeah. That's one of those schools in the eastern part of the state with about 7,000 students, has the same enrollment as University of Texas.
Oh yeah. Those schools up there in the Tulsa area are just so massive. I mean, Narrow, Jenks, Union, Owasso, they don't split up like the Mustangs and
the the Normans, the Moores, the Edmonds,
Exactly. Yeah.
all the former West Side powers.
Yeah, you think about, and even like we played Lawton last Saturday at the Sick of Sickle Cell Foundation Showcase, and at Yukon High School, Lawton High came up and played Weatherford. And it was interesting because there was a kid named Champ Brewer, Lawton High kid named Champ Brewer, and I should have asked while I was there, but I didn't get a chance to.
I think that was Duell's boy.
I gotta wonder if it could be a son or a grandson.
Probably a grandson at this point.
Could
I guess
be.
He played he was there in 89, 90.
Yeah,
that
he's my age.
Right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's
could
my
be a
age.
grandson, yeah.
I mean, yeah, math wise, it could be a grandson, but he was a good little player. But
sure,
just thinking about the dominance that Lawton High used to bring to sports back before.
Or Ike. Lawton Ike was
the 89. Lawton Ike was weren't they a national champion in football?
I think so. Yeah.
I think they were at high. Anyways, Jeremy, so much going on. I know you want to do a victory lap for your Chiefs, securing home field through the playoffs, but we'll get to that later. It is bowl game day here for the Oklahoma Sooners, and a big day for them as they have a chance to avoid a second losing record in the course of 3 seasons with a win over Navy today. Pressure on OU is probably pretty high. They're going to have a lot of young players playing. I was looking at the preview on Soonersports.com. A lot of things, in play, but you have to look at one, and one that stuck out to me is the turnover margin. Now, Oklahoma's going into this bowl game. It's the Armed Forces Bowl against the Naval Academy. A 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 43.5. They outscored opponents 77-9 off of turnovers in their 6 wins. In their 6 losses, they've been outscored 61-14. So Navy's been pretty good off of scoring off of turnovers. So that's got to protect the ball.
Yeah, Hawkins can't go out there and have a start to the game like he did against South Carolina. He's got to protect that football. Now, I'm excited to see Kip Lewis and Kobe McKenzie take on that Navy option. That's going to be fun. And maybe get to see some Boganowski out there laying wood.
Yeah, and getting into the defensive part of it, which I was going to focus on the offense first. But
what offense? They're going to run the football. They're going to run the football. They're going to run the football. Hawkins is going to hit some short passes, hopefully take care of the football. He's going to run the football. They have 9 guys listed in their 2 deep as starters, right?
Yeah.
Was it Xavier Robinson or, name the other 8 guys? Even have Andy Bass on the depth chart this week.
Well, folks are really wanting to see the Mitchell kid, that tight end, get some play.
Know it. Yeah, he's a 5-star who reclassified to the 2024 class and was reclassified as a 4-star. Big, strong kid. He's listed at 289 on the depth chart. That's a typo. He's about 239, 240. But big, strong kid, blocker. He's got good hands. I don't know how he didn't. I guess he had some issues off the field. Not trouble, but academic stuff. He should be in high school. He wasn't ready for it, so he kind of took this semester to get himself right. So let's see what he can do today. I would throw him out there as much as I possibly could. This game means nothing.
Yeah, you get out there and get reps. I mean, I don't want to see Oklahoma have a losing record again. I mean, that you've got to get the win. I mean, but
you got 56 scholarship kids out there too.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them should play.
So what's the math on that? Why were we hearing the number 105 and then now we're down to that?
Okay, so per NCAA guidelines, rosters have to be 105 scholarship players. SEC stuck with the 85. So you processed out 25 guys. Well, some left on their own. Some were asked to find another place to play.
Yeah.
And the portal taketh at this time of year, and it doesn't give back until the spring. Mm-hmm. So that you're stuck with what you're stuck with. Think about Washington State playing in their bowl game today. They got nobody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
they don't even have a coach.
That's a ghost town. And, no coach. And, I mean,
no coordinators.
Yeah, a lot of good bowl games today, though. But I mean, obviously, starting off at 11, it's going to be, it's going to be OU all day. But uh,
I'm a huge Mike Elko fan today.
Mike Elko, yeah, I'll get it. I wanted to get into some Caleb Williams and some USC later on, but um, you know, I, I look at this season, and obviously the coordinator change midway through is never good. I mean,
No.
it's amazing to think that Ruffin McNeil took over after Mike Stoops was given the boot back in 2018 and actually fielded a defense. I
Yeah,
mean,
Ruffin McNeil took over, but Bobby Diaco was making the calls.
yeah, and you were a big fan of him. I get that. Why can't I pull up the live stream?
I'm looking at it right now on the
Yeah,
YouTubes.
and I'm trying, and it won't let me, so I'm getting a little mad. All right, here we go. Got it.
All right.
Okay, so remind me. I know the phrase "remind me," but I told you off the air we would talk about my Prevagen story. Anyways, anybody checking in yet? I don't know.
I haven't seen anybody yet.
Wow.
I guess Connor couldn't get his meetings cleared.
Yeah, we had so many people chiming in when I put it in our text thread last night.
Did you specify that it was Central Time?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Dan Narva, with his, I think Dan Narva's attending the Ferris State victory parade today for the D2 national title. So
right, shirtless, drunk on a street corner somewhere.
There's Steve Anderson checking it. There's Dan Narva, connected from Mom's dedicated listener that I am. Connected from Mom's. Oh, he's visiting family and checking in on the show.
This guy.
That's some dedication, baby. There's a guy.
There's a guy.
So anyway, 2.5-point favorite. These Navy players, and it's so odd because Navy, didn't they get blown out by Tulane?
35-0.
Yeah. And then Army beat Tulane.
And Oklahoma beat Tulane.
And then Navy beat Army. So, I mean, obviously, it could be a topsy-turvy. You never know with bowls. But I would like to think, Jeremy, going into this Armed Forces Bowl, that these linemen, because here's my theory, or here's my viewpoint. OU didn't run the ball all that bad at times in the SEC's haul. Now, they couldn't do anything against Texas.
Right. And they had not figured it out by Texas, and they were still that mash unit up front. But once they got five guys that kind of got some consistency together, they really ran the ball. They ran it well, especially with that other quarterback that was here that went to Auburn.
Yeah, and they featured 8 of its there's different starting lineup in 8 of its 12 games. I'm quoting if you can't tell. Yeah. And at least 11 players have started at least one contest on the offensive line.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, how do you say the kid's name? Heath Ozeta?
Ozeta.
He seems to be somebody who's digging in.
Him and Logan Howland on that left side. They've improved significantly since the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, they plug Ozeta in there at guard, and he was a liability.
Yeah.
But it seems he found his footing against Bama, of all people.
Isn't that something?
Of all teams that he, found it was against probably the best front they played. Well, second best.
Yeah.
I don't think he played against Texas.
Well, and, when I read that stat about the turnovers, and I don't want to throw the kid under the bus because he stuck around. He played admirably. But you talk about not just turnovers, but totally inopportune turnovers. I mean, a game-losing turnover.
Yeah. A lot of them. Think about Tennessee game. Think about the Missouri game. Think about
the Missouri game sticks out the most.
Yeah. Just spike that thing into the ground, take the penalty, and play another play. It's tied at that point.
Exactly, and you go to overtime. I mean, just stupid. But he's gone. No need to bash him. I'm really not. But when you ding OU on the turnovers this year, they've gotten rid of a big chunk of their turnover problem.
They really did, which is insane when you think about it.
Yeah,
It,
and
one,
football's a team game.
yeah.
You never want to blame one player. I've
But
always
I know, and Tatum was the same way. You got guys that put the ball on the ground.
yeah
Fix it or move on. Well, one of them moved on. Hopefully, the other one fixed it. I
yeah
like Tatum's upside, but I think
you
I
can't
think Robinson's the guy.
can't drop the ball.
No,
No, and especially a running back, and
right?
I guess Javante is. I tried to find the depth chart. I couldn't find. Is Javante
Okay,
Barnes starting today?
he's got from what I'm hurt hearing, it's a foot injury.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if it's Liz Frank, which is bad, but not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
But he's not playing. He's not going to play today. They've
Okay.
got Sawchuck, Tatum, Robinson, Andy Bass, like I said, was playing, and there's one other back that's listed in that. They're all or, so I
Mm-hmm.
think we're going to see a lot of guys. They're
Is
going to run
Andy
the ball.
Bass listed as a running back?
He is
Wow. I saw that
5'10",
kid play against.
206.
Huh?
5'10", 206.
Okay. I saw him play against Clinton at quarterback, and he had a gun. I mean,
Oh, maybe old Benny Arbuckle has devised a package for him this week, and we'll see some wildcat pop passes, things like
well,
that.
that brings up a good question. What do you think the real input has been from Arbuckle? In his short time in Oklahoma, is he just sitting in on meetings, sitting
No,
back observing? Is he
no,
showing that what?
they've lost so many coaches. Their quarterbacks coach. What was the guy's name? Why
The
is
guy.
it? Maybe I need some Prevagen. Um, he was brought in. He was an analyst, and they moved him
Yeah,
up onto the staff, and he was a quarterbacks coach.
the
Kevin Johns.
the
Kevin
guy that was
Johns.
a Duke.
Yeah. Well, he's at Oklahoma State now, so they don't. Arbuckle is coaching quarterbacks right now. He
Okay.
is on the field coaching, so he will be coaching in the bowl game. Maybe he's given some input. I can't see why he wouldn't, since it's his baby.
I
And
mean, here's the
obviously,
thing.
Joe John is not equipped right now to be a successful OC.
No. Here's the thing. Hawkins is getting the start, right?
Uh-huh.
He played in the state of Texas. I don't know the exact offense they played at his high school, but I would imagine it was some variation of the Leach tree, right?
Spread them and sling it all around. That's
I
exactly
was
what
going
he
to say,
did.
you would think that there would be some basic plays,
Concepts?
concepts. That's the word. Thanks, Prevagen.
Sure.
You would think there'd be some basic concepts that they would work in, and not just go out there 3 yards in a cloud of dust and hope you can overpower Navy. Because I don't think that's a good strategy.
I mean, I think that's going to be their strategy, like it or not. They're bigger. They're a lot bigger up front than Navy. They should be able to maul them.
You hope, but
Yeah, I know.
we were bigger than
But
Boise State up front back in '06 too,
that's true.
which just
Damn
gets
you.
airplay constantly.
Mm-hmm.
If I counted the number of Fiesta Bowl retweets that I've seen,
How come we can't get some highlights from the OU UConn Fiesta Bowl?
well,
Why not that one?
sadly, the good comes with the bad, and I don't want to see any clips from the '07 versus West Virginia.
Yeah, I don't want to see that either.
No, Rich Rod was gone, but they still
That 3-3-5 was just killing them.
murdered Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Dan Narva, go Dogs. By the way, I guess that's Ferris State Bulldogs, or I'm wearing a SWASU Bulldog. I don't know if Ferris State's the Bulldogs or not. They redeemed lackluster Spartans, but happy to see playing today. OU playing today. And then, Division II is pretty interesting because it seemed like the northern schools really dominated this year after Harding won the national title last season, but we won't delve off into Great American Conference news. Hey, at the Armed Forces Bowl today, I saw that Toby Rowland tweeted out, you can listen to the game broadcast in the stadium on 89.5 FM. Are there still Walkmans available to be purchased in this
I don't
world?
think so. I'm sure there probably are. If you go to a place like a vintage stock or a pawn shop, you could probably find one.
I mean, because I here's the thing, and this is why I hate society. streaming is delayed. I don't care,
Right.
and how that is, how fiber optic internet is not as fast as radio signal is kind of beyond me. But streaming is behind. It's always
It
30
is.
to 45 seconds behind. The thing with the broadcast there is, I would love to go to a game. I would love, like, for my play-by-play broadcast, if we're sending it to the radio station via the internet now. Used to be on a phone line, which amazing technology. The phone lines were almost real time. But I would like to get online and do a search later and see if I could find some sort of Walkman radio listener.
Oh, you probably find one that'll just fit in your ear.
Something. I mean, yeah. Are they out there? Does it? Because you go to Walmart today and try to buy an AM/FM radio.
Yeah, you're probably not going to find one.
I saw one at Radio Shack yesterday.
Well,
no, not Radio Shack. Ace. Sorry. What?
Just use your phone.
It's streaming. It'll be delayed. No, I mean, that's the thing. That's why, that's why I say that is like you can pull up an app, you can pull up, whatever. It's going to be delayed because it's streaming.
You want the big headphones with the radio on one side.
I want that thing antenna where I can tune it in with the little dial on the side of the ear.
There you go.
How was your Christmas?
Yells at cloud. Pardon?
How was your Christmas?
Oh, it was good. It was good. We went to Cunyados on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And, had all the kids at the house Christmas Day.
Lenny seems like he'd be fun at a party. Family party.
He's funny. He did all the cooking, and there were games to be played, and it was a scene. It was Christmas.
That's what it's all about. Cross SW, which I believe Crow SW. Mike Crow, the voice of Thomas Terrier Sports. Morning, fellas, and Merry Christmas. It's game day, so run the stinking ball.
That's right.
Run it down their throat and go Army. Speaking of Christmas, and thanks for checking in, Mike. The wife really knocked it out of the park this Christmas for me.
Look at that. You gonna be able to find those?
I told her I needed a golf ball that I don't think I'll be able to use them in the fall or devegetated part of the years, but I love the little bobber balls.
Look at that.
Look at that. Strixon.
Wow.
So if anybody's from Strixon happens to tune in, I'll straighten up the name. We'd love to.
It's a hard one to say.
Your golf ball.
Strixon.
And then in my advanced years, Jeremy, I've really had a penchant now for gnomes.
Oh my God.
I love gnomes, dude.
Yeah,
everywhere I see a gnome, I'm just like, oh, there's a gnome. That's got a Guitar Center gift card in it, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, look at that. Guitar Center. Nice.
Yeah. So anyways, but I had to show off my golf balls as they, will be lost in the woods of Romanos.
What's next? Are you wearing socks with sandals right now?
No, I got a arch-supported Skechers slip-on.
You might as well just put you in a home.
I've Google searched Del Boca Vista like 4 times this week.
Del Boca Vista.
What's the temperature at Del Boca Vista? Anyways, but OU Navy today at 11. This is a minor preview. I know that they've got stuff going on the Sooner Radio Network now as we speak. So, luckily our fans don't care. So we appreciate them. But no, I mean, don't care to listen to that. They'll tune into us, but we appreciate folks tuning in. But it's just one of those things. Bowl season right now, Jeremy, is just kind of we had the playoffs last weekend, and we'll get into a little bit of Kirk Herbstreit's big dung pile that he stepped into just repeatedly. But later today at 6, Texas Tech plays Arkansas in the Liberty Bowl, which that should always be fun. And then Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt in the Birmingham Bowl, and Syracuse versus Washington State in the Holiday Bowl. And that spread is, where is that spread? That's an 18-point Syracuse favorite.
That is wild.
Washington State was looking, they beat Texas Tech earlier in the season.
Yeah, but that guy that had all those yards against Texas Tech is now a Sooner.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's not more.
I think USC is going to play well against A&M in the Las Vegas Bowl.
Yeah, but also remember they were extremely thin. They hemorrhaged a bunch of guys to the portal.
They've lost a bunch of dudes for sure.
Everyone has.
Steve Anderson, make Chuck go to a home with a good internet. Hey, I will say this. I have badmouthed and besmirched my internet provider. I think it's this computer, which I've had since we started this show.
Well,
I think it's got, I keep getting these updates from my internet security saying you've got outdated drivers and all this.
that's that computer you've had since the Obama administration.
Yep.
Yep.
No. I think I bought it in 2016.
Okay.
I think I bought it Thanksgiving of 2016. So the tail end of the Obama administration.
There you go.
Jared Porter, playoff games have been a snooze fest so far. Yes, they have, but I'll say
Clemson and Texas gave us a lot of hope, and then
yeah. Started out 7-0 Tigers, and then. But here's the thing, Clemson, they weren't Clemson of what we remembered in the late part of the last decade.
You know, it pains me to say this because we rooted on the pony so hard this year, but maybe the ACC was just a trash conference this year.
ACC was just straight butt. I mean, it just, because look at Miami.
Yeah, I know.
And the way
they didn't beat a team with in the top 25 either.
No, but neither is Texas. Well, was Clemson ranked when Texas beat them last week?
Of course, yeah. That's the first one this year.
First ranked win. So, but here's the thing, and people, obviously the internet is undefeated. When these games are blowouts and teams are, proven to be frauds, it's happened many times. And unfortunately, that logo there on your hat has proven out in the playoffs a couple of times.
What are you going to keep Indiana out for?
Yeah.
One loss.
One loss. Wins matter. I will go with that. Records matter. And BYU is hanging a national championship banner in wherever their football stadium is. I'm sure it's in the I'm sure it's in their football stadium. I'm sure they have a trophy case as well. But they're hanging a 1984 national title banner when Washington was the deserving national champion.
Sure.
Washington
won
went
that
to the
Holiday Bowl. Who they beat in that Holiday Bowl?
Michigan.
Well, they beat Michigan. I mean, blue blood.
Yeah, that was a really down year for Michigan that season, which,
down decade.
Yeah. And I can't remember if that was Harbaugh that played for Michigan in that game, but no, I mean, and what's funny is I still remember a joke from Saturday Night Live back then. It was on Weekend Update, and it was a commentary of things to come in the new year or something, and hoping that the phrase Bo Diddley Tech was the first uttered that I've ever heard of. And it was the hope that BYU would play somebody tougher than Bo Diddley Tech. And that was,
independent. You get to set your own schedule.
JP, you need to upgrade from dial-up, Law Dog. Yeah. Like I said, I got to quit besmirching my internet provider because I think it's this old 2015 model.
Till 2023. JP also says till 2023 FSU that wins matter.
No kidding. And they have had a field day bashing on Herb Street. So let's talk about Kirko and all of the, and to double down after he just gets riddled. I love your cute dog, but man, you're kind of the voice of college football, man.
You won so many people over with the dogs and doing a good job on Thursday Night Football. That game last night was a stinker, but him and Al were good.
Did you hear the clip Al Michaels said about Seattle beating Chicago 6-3?
Mariners, White Sox, yes.
Baseball. Yeah. Well, and
guys, it's nobody wants to see a 3-loss team that we've already seen it. It's done. They might be better teams, but these other teams, they deserve to be there because they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then make the claim that it's because your schedule was too tough out of conference. Alabama didn't play anybody out of conference.
If that OU Alabama game is like a 28, 24 game or a 32-28 game,
Yes.
he might even got the nod there, but they were just dominated defensively.
They got skull dragged. They couldn't
Yeah.
stop the run. They couldn't run. They couldn't do anything. Oklahoma had a perfect game plan. And it just ticks you off as an Oklahoma fan. It's like, where's that been?
Yeah, it
Up
was
front, both sides of the ball. Oh, wait, we were waiting for him to get healthy.
Yeah.
Here we are,
Yeah.
12 games in.
Well, didn't repeat it the next week, but that's fine.
No.
But no, and so let's see. Crow SW, the committee would always be criticized, but the system needs to be reworked. I say let the conference champions in, but the buys should be based on rankings, regardless of conference. Rank every round. Reseed per
Reseed
round.
after every round.
Because
yes.
that little 5 hole that Texas slid into. I mean, I hope Arizona State takes care of them.
They won't.
I don't think so. I mean,
yeah, Texas and Penn State, just they were gifted the easiest road to the final.
Yeah.
To the semis.
Yeah.
They got Boise and Arizona State.
Yeah, and my thing is when you're looking at these talking heads and going after the Indianas, they're in essence wanting to do away with any potential 2000 Oklahoma sneaking in there and beating a blue blood or getting on a run, because
2000 Oklahoma was ranked number 1 all year.
They were
After the Nebraska
but
game.
people didn't believe in them. People, look,
no.
you remember the double-digit favorite that Florida State was?
14 and a hook.
There you go. That's a national title game against an undefeated team and a one-loss team, and it was a double-digit favorite for Florida State. So I just think they want to steer clear of that for some reason. Herb Street can't avoid looking like a shill for the SEC. And that's a look that they've got to get out of. Klatt has, to me, gained a lot of momentum, and Fox won't be able to do anything with it, but
no,
he's gained a lot of momentum taking Lane Kiffin toe to toe on social media.
Yeah.
And he's been right.
Kiffin stopped tweeting after Tennessee got just
yeah, he did.
killed.
And for Tennessee fans to show up in such numbers at the Horseshoe, my gosh.
Yeah, what Ohio State fans are they that
They were-
disenchanted with Ryan Day that they're not going to show
Well,
up
look at their
playoff
last game at home. I mean, their last game of the season. They had no idea that was going to be the outcome.
No, that's a rivalry game, man. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had no idea
Texas.
that their team was going to boat race Tennessee.
Oh, I know.
And they got shown up fan wise, but man, the team really took it to heart. But I just, I'm not. Here's the thing: playoffs are playoffs. They're gonna be stinker games. There's gonna be classics. You don't know that the next 2 rounds aren't going to be stinkers. You don't.
No, you don't.
And the thing about it is, Jeremy, is looking at this prognostication of who should be in and who shouldn't. It's just so obvious that recruiting rankings, logo, and potential NFL draft picks are what drives the narrative at the mothership.
Oh yeah,
And I would love to get Bill Connolly on here before long I don't know if I would beat him with that one first off. He might never talk to us if we got it back on. But, I mean, that seems to be the narrative at that network within their on-air college football. And then to give Feinbaum, and I know OU's in the SEC now, and Connor's giving me grief about, us doing the chant, but I'm still not down with it completely.
No, never will be.
No.
But ESPN, for all the dumb things they do, they're pandering to the Blue Bloods, the logos, because they got the most eyeballs on the TV sets.
Yeah, sure.
It's a ratings-driven business. I mean, they're not doing a great job with it. I mean, there's a lot of people on that network that they don't know ball from a hole in the ground.
But doesn't an underdog story sell better in college football than March Madness?
Well, you got your underdog story. Indiana went and got their brains beat in by Notre Dame.
Now it'd be Arizona State, so they've got to make it a game against Texas.
Yeah, and Boise. I just have a feeling those 2 games are going to be stinkers.
Boise's got who? Penn State?
Yep.
I don't know. Franklin going to Franklin.
I know, but dang, man, they looked really good last weekend.
SMU was just I think so much of these programs, Jeremy, and this is probably going to be the same with Arizona State. Boise State's geared to be the underdog, to be the unheralded prize fighter. I don't know if Arizona State's got that in their DNA. I mean, because
Yeah.
they have had successful years in the past, but and in a major conference. But I just think I think the last two moments of the season for SMU were just too big. I think the
Yeah.
first half of the ACC championship game was too big, and just think if they pull that out against Clemson, you know who who gets in? Bama.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so blame the Clemson kicker for all this mess, but but it's just one of those things, Jeremy, where I look at it and I say, you got playoff football. This is something we've never expected before. If you're the number 13 team, if you're the first one out, you don't have a leg to stand on. I mean, back when it was four teams and you were number 5 and you're playing really well, okay. Go back to '07 and talk to 10-2 Georgia,
Sure.
who didn't get a shot at a BCS bowl.
So has all these playoffs, has that affected your viewing of bowl games this year?
It's hard to say because, well, okay.
I think
it's a little different for me, Jeremy, now because I do play-by-play sports, and my team that I do with the Weatherford Eagles, they played in a 2-day festival last Friday and Saturday. So
Sure.
I missed the Friday night Indiana game, and I missed all the games on Saturday. So yes, I guess maybe that's an exceptional situation. I watched what's that, 68 Ventures or whatever last night. Used to be
With
the
K-State
Mobile Bowl.
Rutgers?
No, I
Oh,
missed that one.
Toledo and
No, it was Arkansas. Butch Jones got the
oh,
win
okay.
for
Okay.
Bowling Green, and
Yeah.
apparently that's a bowl where like the Sun Belt has a 9-0 lead over the MAC, and so Butch Jones gets doused, and those beady eyes just get beadier when the cold Gatorade hits him.
Fun
But
Belt and Action. Hey, that Kansas State Rutgers game was a heck of a football
that
game.
was a big one. K State comes back, and then OU catches a stray on the graphic at the end.
Did they? I didn't watch
Largest
the very end
comeback
of it.
since 2020 against Oklahoma.
Why does it always have to be my team?
Yeah, it just always is. I mean, but we can get
The
into a
bowl
whole.
season is a joke just because of the portal. It's outside of the playoffs, even the playoffs, because you got guys, jumping ship in the playoffs.
Well, it was enough in college basketball to make Jim Larinaga from Miami step aside, which, like I said, the internet's undefeated, and the internet proceeded to point out how his Final Four appearance was totally banked on NIL players.
Yeah, and they all left.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just, this, and we've talked about this before. The NIL has got to be brought down to contracts. You get paid to be here this amount of years, and you'll stay and you'll develop. But then
Yep.
I guess maybe the school would be on the hook if a kid didn't pan out. So I don't
Sure.
know. Maybe
There's
this
got to be some.
shuffling isn't, huh?
Maybe there's got to be some insurance policy there that you can. I mean, heck, Dion got Shiloh and Shadur
Mm-hmm.
massive insurance policies so they could play in the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah, and that should be a fun one. Did you see Dion ripping them or giving them the heads up? Don't be smoking in the hotel room. Somebody played the clip of him talking to the team. He said, "If I get a report that there's smoke on one floor, that'll be your last puff." And I think once his kids are gone from that program, I'll like him better as a coach.
Probably.
Really,
Probably.
I mean, between Fredo doing the video scene for everybody that performs much better than he ever did, and
Talking about Dion Jr.
Yeah, Fredo, and then the wristwatch motion and all that. Shiloh, I mean, I think Shiloh's a gamer, but
Shiloh said some things at that Oregon game last year that was pretty comical. Right before they just got hammered, y'all too small. Y'all too small. And then they just
Yeah.
ran right through him for about 600 yards.
Dan Narva didn't know what happened to Rutgers, but their horse running back was nowhere to be found when I watched in the second half.
Maybe an
Kyle
opt-out. Or did he play in the
Monacock.
first half?
I don't know. I honestly didn't
Mm,
get to see the Rutgers K-State game. I saw
yeah.
that. I saw that K-State was down, so I missed the comeback. But high school basketball, watching
Yeah.
stuff. But no, it's just one of those things this year. I'm going to delve into bowls. I'm off next week, and I will take in bowls. Whatever is going on. I got to say, I watched a fair amount of NBA on Christmas Day until the Lakers came on, and then I tuned out.
Which has been a massive problem for the NBA is nobody wants to watch it.
No, and
And
then
I
LeBron.
think it comes down to one person. It's LeBron James. Nobody wants to watch him anymore. We're done with him.
So they pulled up Bronny on the roster for Christmas Day, so him and Dad could be
Oh,
teammates. Because I think
oh.
I saw him in a Lakers jersey on that game.
Yeah, I didn't watch any NBA Christmas Day. I was busy watching
Yeah, your
the
Chiefs.
Chefs.
We'll get into that in a minute. Let's see. Steve Anderson, when Dion's kids are gone from that program, he'll be gone too. I don't know. They're pulling in some
Got a
portal
five-star
grabs.
quarterback coming in.
Yeah, I mean they've got some horses coming in. Colorado on a scale of 1 to 5, I think Colorado's a solid 3.5 program.
Hey, if I want to be everything that we've said about Dion in the past couple of years, I want to be wrong. If he stays there and has success after his kids are gone, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
And then ends up, taking over for Norvell after he gets unceremoniously dumped after next season.
oh yeah. I mean, go back home. Don't follow a legend, and you can go back to your alma mater when they're down. Don't go back when they're up. Right.
Right.
Your
Yeah.
beard's really colossal this time of year, isn't it?
I just trimmed it.
3 days.
Wow. No.
you and Zach Galifianakis growing beards in 2 days.
I just trimmed it down a couple days ago.
Yeah. Dan Narva said it is weird rooting for Rutgers as a member of his home conference. They'll always be Big
Y'all don't
East
chant Big Ten?
yeah, Atlantic 10.
The Big East. Wow.
Maryland will always be ACC to me. I can't
Oh, yeah.
I can't conceive Maryland in
I always forget they're in the Big Ten.
That's what I mean. They're ACC.
And now I got to keep track of USC, UCLA, and Washington and Oregon in the Big Ten.
This
I
is
can't.
dumb.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
Our conferences are so big. We're having conference games and bowl games.
Yeah.
Because they haven't played each other this year. Well,
that threw
dumb
me off
too.
when I saw the Alamo Bowl teams. Just I don't know. It should be a good one, but
it's too much. They're going to expand the college football playoffs. We're going to have a 20-team conference before too long. It's going to happen. You'll have
just give me an expanded Southwest Conference. Just all the Texas teams and OU and OSU, just in Arkansas.
No, Premier League. Combine all of them into one
That's
conference.
where it's going.
Combine all of them into one conference. Go divisions, play within divisions, play a couple games out of divisions. Don't play. That's just it. You play as many teams as you can in that 12-game schedule, and you're done with it.
Yeah. You want to read that comment on the YouTube from JP?
Let's see what JP's got to say. Say OU is looking for a new head coach this time next year. Can you see Josie going after Dion? No, because Excuse University will go after a coordinator from another Power 5 team.
Say that again.
They'll go after a coordinator from another Power 5 team. They're not gonna hire an established head coach. They never have.
You're talking about. You said Excuse University. Are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a kind of a pet name after the we only have 56 guys to play this week thing.
Okay. Wow. Self-degradation.
Well, let's
depredation.
But you think maybe okay, so when Stoops retired, the word around town was Lincoln Riley was kicking the tires on other programs. So Stoops didn't really want to step down, but he did for the program so Lincoln Riley could take over. Well, now that Zach Alley's been connected to Rich Rod's staff at West Virginia, if they fire Brent, they're going to promote Zach?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're
Yeah.
at?
I don't know. I don't know. That's and that you're right. That does seem to be a Joe C. Modus
Well, no,
operandi.
Not just Joe C. Think about it. Barry Switzer, coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Gibbs, coordinator. Schnelly was the only one that was an established head coach. John Blake, I don't even know what the heck he was. He coached Tony
Cowboys
Tolbert and
D-line.
Charles Haley with the
Yeah.
Cowboys. How tough is that job?
Yeah. Leon
Yeah.
Lett.
Stoops, coordinator. Venables, coordinator. Riley, coordinator.
That many times, it's a pattern. So
yeah, it is a pattern.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing about it is head coaches right now, I mean, Dion is an up and coming head coach. He's got, what, 3 years head coaching under his belt. I mean,
would it be an amazing hire? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It sure as heck be a lot of fun.
Thing is, in this SEC and with Texas and the money bags they're putting out and the players they're getting, you got to make a splash if that's the case. If you go away from BV, you got to make a splash. It can't.
I just want the swagger back, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking about Barry Switzer swagger. I'm not talking. Yeah. Bob had swagger, but Bob's swagger was different. Barry was an a-hole. He didn't care. We're going to beat your ass. We're going to try to score 50. We're going to do anything we can to score 50.
Yeah.
And you're going to like it.
Wouldn't you? I mean, I would have thought that Venables, always felt like Venables had some of that from his K-State days. Count us out. We're going to kick your ass. That doesn't seem to be the case right now.
I think he's still just finding his way, and he's failing a lot because of.
I feel bad because
a lot of loyalty.
I feel bad because his daughter, when we played at that community Christian tournament, tore her ACL or appeared to. I don't know. I didn't confirm it was a torn ACL, but
and guys, don't get me wrong. I want Brent to succeed as much as anybody.
Yeah.
I like the guy. I think he's a good, genuine guy. I think he's a hell of a ball coach. He's just got. Are we going to take the time to let him become that guy?
It's a 2 conference wins. That's uncharted territory for the Sooners since the 90s.
And to just urinate down their leg in so many games they had a shot to win. Tennessee, Ole Miss, LSU.
I felt like Tennessee was out of reach the whole time.
Well, you had the ball 3 times inside
Missouri's
the 20 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
You had the ball 3 times inside the 20 in the first quarter and came away with 0 points.
Sure. Missouri is the one that you look at and just really snatched defeat from the jaws.
Had a 14-point lead at halftime against Ole Miss.
Yeah, they had an offense that would be. Now they were without their top receiver too. So which was pointed out.
It's like, who used down their top 6 receivers? So Crimea River.
And so it's just one of those situations where I look at it and say, going forward, and Jared brings up a great point. Who is the name that you target in on?
Man, I don't even know. I'm sure there's a list in the top drawer of Joe C's desk of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And Shanahan. I'm thinking of coordinators right now.
Yeah.
The 2 guys on staff make it look. Arbuckle and
Belichick Jr.
Steve Belichick. No.
Dan Narva, such a good point on Barry because
Kenny Dillingham would be a heck of a hire.
Yeah. Okay. Such a good point on Barry because OU Nebraska was classic heroes and villains, and Barry relished his role. Barry
absolutely loved it. Fur coat.
Yeah, Barry
sold heaters on the sideline.
Barry sold it so well that Nebraska fans love him for it.
Yeah.
Barry, thank you for coming up here and kicking our ass.
One of my favorite shirts I have. I got a shirt with Barry Switzer smoking a cigarette on it, kneeling on the sideline at Owen Field.
That's right.
Let's smoke them.
Yeah. And those wasn't he wearing the
Oh,
the bike coaches short
the
pants or
bike coat.
whatever,
Yeah, the
and that
uh, garish red bike coach's short, the old
those
school shirt.
polyester
Oh
shimmery
hell!
jackets.
Or a guy, with balls enough, sorry, to wear a Beat Texas hat on the sideline of the
Oh
OU
yeah.
Texas game.
Yeah. I mean that's the mentality you need nowadays with the internet that gets pounced on pretty hard,
Oh
but
man!
go out
But
and win.
if you win like Barry won,
Yeah, yeah, he had a run. This bowl game today, Jeremy, and I saw a stat and I've deleted it since, but since World War II, I think OU leads, and I need to pull that up, but I'm sure I'll freeze my computer if I do.
second or third in wins, or what are
Yeah,
we? Yeah.
and 20, they're first.
Okay.
Bama's like 28 behind at number two.
Yeah. What are they since integration?
That's where I always go to, but that's just the stat that was thrown out. But having said that, looking at bowl games, OU's like third or fourth, I think, in all-time
hmm
bowl wins.
hmm
Think about if the Stoops teams had performed up to their potential in all of his bowl games.
No kidding.
I mean,
If they find a way to score inside the five twice against Florida,
yeah,
think about that.
if
Think
they can run the ball after they've ran the ball with Kewan Jones several times
if
against LSU.
Chuck
Uh,
Long doesn't get a little too deep in his bag and find
yeah.
that bottle of liquor and start pounding it after they run the ball down the field. What are
hmm
you doing, man?
And then, the Boise State and the West Virginia. I mean, really, OU's had a wretched bowl
Oh
performance
yeah. Oh,
since the
definitely.
Stoops era. I mean,
Yeah. You got that
so,
target on your back and they just haven't been they've been good enough. They just haven't had the intestinal fortitude enough to close out.
I mean, back during the BCS, their last big bowl game win was Auburn in
UConn.
2016.
Yeah, I was gonna say UConn in the Fiesta Bowl, but I remember Baker and the boys just hammered Auburn in that Fiesta in that Sugar Bowl.
Yeah. And that was the Yukon, that was Landry, wasn't it?
That was Landry.
That 2010?
Landry had 3 bowl wins, or was it 2 bowl wins? Well, he had
Well, he
more bowl
faced
wins
Stanford in the Sun Bowl, but didn't have to face Andrew Luck.
True. Had to
Um,
face Toby Gerhard though.
yeah. The Bama Sugar Bowl win, the Auburn Sugar Bowl win. That's pretty much been it.
Yeah,
Anyway, hey, your Thunder got a big win yesterday.
yeah, they did. Man,
SGA with 45 points. That guy.
15 of 22 from the floor, but he's a free throw merchant.
Yeah, he is.
Dude is so
Um,
good,
he is
unguardable.
he's really the guy that you would look at and say, now, obviously the in-season tournament was let down, but he is the guy you would say. And for those listening on the podcast, Jeremy just rolled his eyes vehemently. Uh, he is the guy who has the game that you would want going into a playoff series.
Oh yeah, he can get his points from anywhere on the floor.
hmm And then it's all
And,
just about role players and everyone else,
but
kicking in.
their biggest role player hasn't played since the second week of the season. When he gets back, good lord,
It should be good. Hartenstein's been
double machine.
did you see the clip of, I think, Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce talking about the Thunder?
Yeah,
And they were really high on Wiggins.
yep.
I mean, there's a lot of good
Guy
players
can
on that
play.
team.
Hey,
I
Alex
just,
Caruso got paid, and I I'm not. I love that. I love that they extended him
mhm,
because that anchors your defense for another 4 years with
yeah,
SGA on his contract. Chet, J Dub, Jay Will's back. He's playing good ball.
still
That's
draft picks in the quiver, right?
they got like 5 1s this season. This in this upcoming draft.
There's probably going to be an investigation before long into Sam Presti where they say, okay,
Well,
you've operated illegally. You're going to be sanctioned.
there's some kids at University of Maryland students that made some T-shirts when Andrew Wiggins was there. The slogan was Andrew Wiggins saved basketball. I would like to postulate that Paul George saved basketball in the state of Oklahoma by requesting that trade,
Yeah, I
or
mean,
maybe Kawhi Leonard. But do whatever it takes to get it done. Okay, well, we'll just give you our franchise. Here's the keys.
yeah,
Enjoy. Oh yeah, here's SGA.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's going to go down in one of the worst trades of all
that's
time,
right
right?
up there with Herschel Walker.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Jared Porter looking like the best team in the league, and they're still getting Chet back later in the year. That's and being a Spurs fan, I realize this is still another chalk up season. They brought in Chris Paul. He's too old. Wemby, what did he take 40 some threes the other night?
That's too many.
I mean, he took a bunch of
40? He
threes.
didn't take
No,
40.
it
He might
was.
have taken 40 shots.
Let me take a look. He took an exorbitant. I know it wasn't 30, but or 40, but you know what I mean.
He scored 40 points.
He scored 42. Wemby, let's see here, 16 of 31 from the field, and 3-point. He was 6 of 16. So 16 3-pointers. Nobody else took double-digit threes.
That's a lot of threes for a
He's 7'5".
7'5".
Yeah, so
post
they've
player.
got to figure out his shot selection. They've got to figure out a lot of things, and I don't know that they will. Sohan's good, Vassal's good. The Champagne guy, I like him, but they're not gonna. They might make the play in. I don't know.
I know the Euro soccer fan in him made an appearance with all those flops he was throwing out there.
Man, he was bodying up on Embiid here a while back. I'm sure Embiid had to go on the IR after that, but
hey, another thing, Luka's out for at least a month with
I
the
did
left
not
calf
see that.
strain. Yeah, he's
Okay.
out, so Dallas may fall off a bit.
Yeah, what a break for Klay Thompson to go to that team, the team that made the finals last season, and now they're
And
looking
he's
at
not
that.
the one that's hurt, even though he's been the one that's been hurt for
Exactly.
5 years now.
Yeah. No, I don't know, Jeremy. This has got to be the year that OKC makes a finals run, right?
I would think so. They were banging on the door last year, but
Well,
PJ
they were
Washington is
outclassed
just
in the post and
PJ
down
Washington
low.
is thunder kryptonite.
Yeah, he's wicked. But no, I mean they've got the horses down low this season to kind of shore up some things, right?
If you could assemble a team with PJ Washington, Andrew Wiggins, Elfrid Payton, Steph, I'm telling you, OKC might not score a point, might not win a game.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. It'll be interesting, but there's the trade deadline coming up. You don't know what's going to happen there. With other teams kind of shifting things, and I see a headline every day on my Google homepage that the Lakers are going to make some move that's going to put them in the finals.
Nobody wants to trade with them because the Lakers have no assets and the league is done with LeBron. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
The whole Bronny thing has just soured the whole league against him.
yeah. What'd you think about Christmas Day football in the NFL?
Well, I liked one game. That second
I
game was
figured.
just a snoozer, but seems like Kansas City is playing their best football at the right time, and that the previous 17 weeks were just practice,
How
doesn't it?
awesome that Kelsey, gets a touchdown, after my team's out of the fantasy league.
Yeah, good
Jackass.
job. Hey, that's he's now the Chiefs' all-time leader in touchdown receptions, and
Yeah, he could suck it. If
yeah,
Gonzalez would have had Mahomes throwing it to him, he would have got it too.
well, Mahomes is probably the greatest human to ever live on the planet.
The greatest person to walk onto a football field at all time. There's a guy.
Here's a guy. Nah, I'm telling you, man, just getting Hollywood Brown back has opened that offense up so much.
Boy, Xavier Worthy is really just
He's
dangerous.
700. It's over 700 yards in his rookie season. This guy was supposed to be a bust.
Praise the Lord that Jordan Kelly stripped that ball from him on that kickoff returner. That could have been wicked.
No kidding. Caleb Kelly.
Caleb Kelly.
Jordan
sorry.
Kelly's still in the league somewhere.
Okay. No, but you did mention that Travis Kelce breaks the Chiefs touchdown record. That
Oh, and
previously held
another
by
fun stat from the game. Sorry to interrupt, but Patrick Mahomes broke Peyton Manning's record for most touchdown passes before age 30.
Yeah, I can see that.
And
And
he's
what's funny is
27,
there haven't even been that explosive. What'd you say?
and he's 27.
They haven't even been that explosive in the last two seasons.
No, no,
Not
you
like
saw
not like when he came in.
no, but you saw glimpses of it Saturday or Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday. They had the deep pass to 84. Can't name escapes me right now. I'll tell you, I need the Prevagen.
The Hopkins?
No, 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 no. The white kid.
Oh, I
Oh
don't know.
gosh, I can't even think of his name right now.
I don't even
It was,
watch Chiefs games.
he threw the ball down. He threw the ball downfield more.
Yeah.
Hopkins has been really good. Kelsey's rounding into shape from being in a round shape for most of the season.
From fat
Yeah,
concert tours.
yeah. Noel Gray's always going to give teams. You got those two tight ends that are just going to be problems for everybody in the playoffs. They're not running the ball particularly well, but they don't have to.
No. Just enough with Pacheco and Hunt and
Yeah,
P Ryan to
sure.
just barrel in there and
And
break it up.
I love that Samaje P Ryan is playing in big moments for this team.
He's a good third down back for them.
Well, he's been a good player. I mean, God,
I mean,
the
he's
guy's
catching the
just
ball well.
he's catching the ball well. Yeah, that was something he did a little bit at Oklahoma, but he wasn't asked to do it a lot, and he's really perfected that craft once he got in the NFL. He was the third down guy with Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he did with Denver last year because I don't care about Denver, but
He didn't
he's
do
been a
much
good
because I had him on my
he's
team.
been a good kick returner too.
Yeah. Um, yeah. And, it's funny. The Ravens just boat raced Houston.
That was
And
just an ugly football
I
game.
saw on Twitter that, see, Jared Porter still can't believe Kansas City played 3 games in 11 days and won them all. That's pretty
That's the
astounding.
second 3 games in 11 days, and
Mm-hmm.
then 2 weeks ago it ended up 3 games in 10 games, or three
Golly.
games in 10 days. Said
They need the
no.
bye, obviously.
Now, since they've played 6 seasons and 5 seasons, they basically played half a season in 6 weeks, I'm sorry, in 20 days.
Mm-hmm.
They're the league is setting up for them to lose Noah Gray, or yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Justin Watson. Thank you, John. Um, they're setting them up so they can't three-peat because they're banking on them not making it.
Yeah.
But they just keep winning.
Yeah.
And they did all that Wednesday without Chris Jones. And their pass rush was just getting to Russell Wilson all day.
Yeah. They're stout defense. Did you see the tweet that showed that basically CJ Stroud's gone down the tube since his game against the Bears?
I thought it was since he took that Instagram model home after the celebrity softball game.
Oh, I didn't see that. But somebody put out a tweet, the clip of him talking to Caleb Williams, offering him encouragement, talking like he's a 5-year veteran.
I mean, he had a good rookie year, but ever since then, yeah, he's not been
And
great. He's
that's
been good
well, they're
enough,
just
but
not they're
not
not
great.
good. They're not good
No,
defensively for sure.
they're
Uh,
not good defensively. They're not good up front in front of them. They don't have a good
but he
offensive
lost
line.
he lost Tank Dell of that horrific injury, and then
Oh yeah,
but since it says his basically they were pointing out his season has spiraled since he was talking all that encouragement to Caleb Williams, which I can see that being the case because I would think Caleb Williams is the death knell for most things.
yeah. And Caleb Williams, hey, you're not going to have to punt too much. I'm watching highlights of that game last night, and he was
He's
just
six to
brutal.
three. Yeah. Yeah. And then also, I saw a clip on their clock management at the end where they basically pissed away time there. They could have ran 4 plays.
Hey, Chuck, interact with the stream for a second. I'll be
Okay.
right back.
Yeah, Jeremy. And so we got John Workman checking in and then also Jared Porter. Man, good to hear from Jared and Dan Narva as well. High school basketball going on again today. My Weatherford Eagles are playing the Owasso Rams, just an amazing team in the state of Oklahoma. That game's at 8:30 at the Tournament of Champions and is streaming live on Squirtle. And it's going to be a really an amazing game. Weatherford features a lot of great players. Tate Sage is a Division I recruit. He's committed to Drake University. Ethan Sage is a commit to Pittsburgh State. They're twins. They're both 6'7". Walker Kennedy is a prospect that played on their rogue AAU team, summer ball team with them. He's a point guard and just really got a great outside shot, also a great first step that I've noticed he can really take the ball to the bucket. And then CJ Nixon, who, if he was just solely a basketball player, would be potentially a Division I prospect. He's 6'5", 6'6", really good hands, good down in the post, good outside touch, or mid-range, as I like to say. And then that's why, if he wasn't a defensive end prospect at Oklahoma and going to play for them, he would probably be somebody's D1 pick as a power forward. And 6'6" isn't that tall in college basketball, but it is definitely when you throw in that he's 230, he could pound down in low in any Division I game. So a great player, but it's going to be a tough one. Jalen Montanati is an outstanding player for the Owasso Rams, and then I watched them play Class A Wilson, or Class B, I think. Wilson of Henrietta yesterday, state champion last season, and a good team, but they really dominated them in a big way. Steve Anderson checking in. That's why I think Dion will coach the Bears. They'll draft Shadur, him, and trade Caleb. Trade Caleb Williams.
Oh,
man.
Wow. I don't think that's going to happen.
What would you get for Caleb on the open market? Would Dallas be in the market for him?
You might get a 2 for him.
2? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's upside is incredible, but the decision making is not there yet.
He can fling it. That touchdown he threw to Odunze, man, that was
when did he throw that?
It was in the first. No, it was called back on a hold, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, he rolled out and he slung that thing, and I mean,
he's got all the ability in the world, but the decision making, especially later in games, has not been stellar.
If Coach Prime went to the NFL, I can't see it being anywhere but Dallas.
You think he would give up that much control? He likes to be the guy in charge.
I think he figures he could manipulate Jerry and Stephen Jones and get what he wanted. I think he probably feels like he had that relationship with him as a player, and that it wouldn't be any different as a coach.
Sure.
I don't know. It just seems like Chicago's not nearly a glamorous enough job that he would consider.
I look for maybe like a Cliff Kingsbury.
At Dallas?
No, it's Chicago.
Oh. Ooh.
I mean, he's worked with Caleb.
That's a bad retread.
Well, I mean,
that was really a bad experiment.
Eberflus was a horrible experiment.
Who?
Matt Eberflus.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's one thing to be a coordinator that Cugnato's at the game.
He is.
Lenny sending us some pics from the tailgate down at Amon G. Carter Stadium. Nice of him to share. But no, I mean, to me, I think 49ers, Falcons, or Cowboys, that would be the 3 destinations for Dion that I could see.
What about Tampa?
Is Tampa going to trade Baker and draft his son?
Doubtful.
Yeah. So
it seems like they're all in with Baker.
But Dallas screwed up the tank, so I mean,
Well, because the wrong quarterback started the season. If they would have played Dak all year, the tank would have been successful.
Hate it when the tank fails.
Yeah.
I hate the tank. Well, I tell you, it's going to be interesting. Let's start to mosey our way out of here. Bowl games today, Jeremy. I am fixated on the A&M USC Bowl. If I get to catch that one later, let's look over some of the spreads as I had them. Man, Texas A&M USC. A&M's a 3-point favorite over the Trojans, as you mentioned. Who are the men of Troy going to throw out there? They've lost so many to the portal. If they got blown out in this game, does Lincoln Riley what's the percentage that they would just pull the plug now? A huge buyout, but
I don't know. Would that buyout deter them? I mean, I
That's what
think
I
they're still
mean.
paying Clay Helton.
Yeah, I don't know. 60 degrees and sunny at Allegiant Stadium, which isn't that indoors?
It's
Is it
yes, there's
retractable
a
roof?
I think the roof is closed all the time, but it's open on the sides. Or
Okay,
is that the LA
kind of like
stadium you're
SoFi
thinking
or
about?
whatever that is.
Possibly.
Yeah, I
Not
don't
real
like that.
sure.
Didn't the one in LA, didn't they have like some abnormal moisture like one time and that those sides were all slick and wet?
Yes.
People were
It
falling all over
rained
it.
and yeah, it rained and it got inside there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Anyways, A&M a 3-point favorite, 53.5 is the over under. I like A&M and I like the over. Uh, Georgia Tech Vanderbilt, Vandy, Diego Pavia, is he gonna,
Yep,
be suited up for that?
he is, and he got an extra year of eligibility, so he'll
Look at
probably
him.
be back next season.
That's something that we forgot to mention. I don't think we had a chance to mention it last time we were on the air. The JUCO ruling
Yep.
of JUCOs can come in after 2 years at a junior college and play 4 years of college football. Here's the thing, Jeremy. That's going to help the Baylors and the
K-State's,
UTSAs, huh?
K-State.
K State. That's going to help them immensely. You think about the JUCO players that have come in, maybe didn't catch on in their first season after being at
Hmm.
a JUCO 2 years, but then had a standout, senior season. That's all awry now.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. We're gonna have. I mean, you can play 2 years, transfer
Hmm.
to a upper division NCAA school,
Hmm.
redshirt, and
Oh
then
yeah,
play 4 years.
yeah.
Really?
What's the math on that? 7?
7 years.
Yeah. Texas Tech 2.5-point favorite over the Hogs at the Liberty Bowl. Is that place under construction or something?
I think so.
I thought I saw some pics. 51.5 is the over under. It looks like Baron Morton is out. I don't
Give
even
me the
know.
Hogs.
Yeah, I would take, of course, talking about transfer portal, how do you say the name? Santagna?
Centegna.
Santagna, the receiver for Arkansas, punt returner. A lot of speed, but according to Connor Carr, Butterfingers.
He hates everybody on his team.
He really does, man. If I bagged on OU as bad as he bags on Arkansas, man, I wouldn't have any friends.
I mean, yeah. But what's the quarterback's name? Traylon. Oh, I can't think of his last name.
Yeah,
Green.
yeah.
Taylor Green. Yeah, he could make 5 great plays in a row, but he would focus on him overthrowing a player in the first quarter on the first drive.
I would probably still take. I'll probably take the Hogs to cover that 2.5.
I don't even know who's the backup for Tech.
I don't know.
Yeah,
There is none.
throw Maverick MacGyver out there. They don't have a quarterback. They're going to run
He's at San
Wildcat all day.
Angelo.
Yeah.
I went full Nate Bargatze on you there. There is none.
There's none.
There is none.
Nobody knows.
I watched this special the other night on Netflix. I guess I forget what it was called, but
I need to watch that while I'm off.
it's his latest special. And then I watched his Christmas special, and there was a guy on there named Derek Stroop, who's kind of a southeastern guy, but he talked about being transplanted to Colorado. And he says dad's real overweight, and he's like, "Yeah, I feel kind of weak. I'm low on blood sugar." And he goes, "No, if anything, your blood sugar's high. You look like a Butterfinger with boots on." And I related to that. And then he said he was talking about his granola friends in Colorado, talking about you need to get off of the aluminum based deodorants. He goes, "No, have you seen me? I need all the aluminum." It was funny, but anyways, well, let's start working our way out of here, Jeremy.
All right.
And a lot of good stuff and upcoming, and we'll try to get on next week on a Friday again and bring the weekend big show. It's always fun to get on here with you. I know we jumped back in full swing, I guess, back last March.
Mm-hmm.
When I stepped away from my sports duties with the radio station out here in Western Oklahoma. But we've been pretty constant throughout the years. We have had some lag times where my career has kind of taken away from stuff, but always a lot of fun. And going into the new year, 2025, we'll talk and try to conceive ways to keep our fans interactive and bring more content if we can and do things like that. But it's always a lot of fun to get on here and talk sports with you. Two random dudes talking to the internet.
Yeah, we need to add that music segment.
Oh yeah, what was it we said we were going to do?
Like just a quick music segment. Talk about new stuff we're listening to. What we
Well, I'll tell you
yeah.
what, let's do it right now because
Okay.
I have been. This is going to crack people up, and it probably pretty much counted on. I've been on a big Dan Fogelberg kick lately.
You look like you smell like patchouli.
I've been, been going back and listening to French horn solos, and it's just
Fogelberg.
Dan Fogelberg.
Is that
It's
American Pie?
no, that's
Oh,
Don McLean.
that's Don
Dan
McLean.
Fogelberg, total mellow dude from the.
Oh my God.
Hey, did you
Are you
watch?
about to hit your yacht rock phase?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Did you happen to catch the Yacht Rock documentary on Max?
No.
You should. It's really good. I mean, they interviewed Michael McDonald, who's basically the flagship for
god,
Yacht
yeah.
Rock, and Christopher Cross.
Yeah, so that was just thinking Christopher Cross and Michael
Oh yeah,
McDonald. Long
all
way
the
to go.
dudes from Toto. Did
Hey,
you
I like
see?
Toto.
Have you seen the meme? Huh?
I like Toto.
Oh yeah, I like all those groups. Have you seen the meme where they showed a picture of Toto posing for like a cover photo or something? And it said Toto looks like the first 6 guys your mom dated after the divorce. But no, probably after the first year, I'll kind of jump back on some of my metal phase, just to kind of jump in that. But I haven't been feeling too aggressive over the holidays, so
Been listening to a lot of Pantera lately.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's always good stuff. I'll probably do another dive in on Mastodon.
Oh yes.
I'll say this: when I'm traveling, and we've been doing a fair amount of driving back and forth to the metro area, I'll land on Octane on Sirius XM. Get in some new metal, new metal.
Oh no. Throw on some Black Label Society and do it old school. Zach Wild.
Yeah,
The man.
yeah. I still have an iPod, and I guess I still have all my iTunes that I bought back when you bought music.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Losing Your Mind on there, which that was actually it's not Black Label Society. It was his first endeavor, but they're kind of cross labeled.
Zach Wild Band.
No. It was now y'all just losing your mind. It's got banjo in it, dude.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think I remember that.
Gosh, what was their name? Pride and Glory.
No.
Let's
Sorry.
not get it copyrighted.
Oh, sorry.
Pride and Glory. That was the name of the band.
Okay.
And they did that track, Losing Your Mind. And then, man, that guy's a wild guitarist, too.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. But no, I love talking music. And I tell you, I'm on Facebook, I'm a member of a group of Yes fans.
XYZ.
Huh?
Huh? Yes.
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 The band, Yes. Connor,
Stillborn.
boy, I joined at a weird time. Where the hell you been, man? Done talked about the Hogs. But anyways, it's so funny because prog rock brings out all the biggest critics. They will criticize and talk about this and stuff. It's like, dude, it's a band I like. I like everything they do.
Just listen to Roundabout. It'll change your mind.
Well, and Starship Trooper and even the 80s, Yes. I mean, it's just they're good musicians. It's good music. It's music I grew up to. So I hate people. And I'll, in full disclosure, somebody I knew one time, I just mentioned a country song that I liked, and I liked the fact that it had a mandolin in it.
Sure.
I said, man, I love that song. The mandolin sounds so good. Well, it's really a very basic chord for the mandolin. It's not very advanced. You should listen to so-and-so. Piss off.
Yeah.
I like what I like.
Battle of Evermore by Zeppelin. That's a great mandolin song.
Yeah, that is a good one. Man, talking about Zeppelin, I know somebody posted a deal is When the Levee Breaks on your top 5 Zeppelin songs. I'd have to say yes on that one.
Definitely.
That's good bumper music too.
Yeah.
That drum coming in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But no, is there any new bands or anybody that you're kind of delved into, kind of off the radar?
Oklahoma blood, obviously.
Now you're a big workout guy, so you've got
Yes.
to channel the aggression.
Oh yeah, exactly. Trying to think. Let me go to my recently played, and I'll tell you because there's some in here that were I hadn't necessarily heard of. Rival Sons. They've
Rival
got
Sons.
Rival Sons. They've got some good tunes. Man, Helmet. Everyone loves
Yeah,
Helmet.
yeah, you can always jump on Helmet. Um,
We've been listening to a lot of Weezer lately. Me and the kiddo,
I'll always default to Alice in Chains.
of course.
You know, that's really in my DNA on that. Um,
Saxon.
according, huh?
Saxon.
Oh wow, that's going a ways back.
Yeah, right.
According to Amazon Music, my most listened to music of 2024 was Charlie Robinson.
Okay.
Yeah, and probably a lot of beer intake along
Just
with
some
that.
red dirt, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he was man, he was so at the forefront of all that. Dan Narva, fun stuff. I could learn from you, metalheads, prog, and mandolins. Maybe more my speed. Well, Dan, we did mention Dan Fogelberg, so I mean, Connor Carr.
And Michael McDonald and the other
Yeah,
guy.
Connor Carr says Jeremy listens to Trapped on repeat while he lifts.
Ooh, Headstrong? No, I do not.
Oh,
No,
I hate that
how
song.
dare
Is
you?
that?
That's Trapped. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that
that's
was their
awful.
one hit. Yeah,
Yeah.
just terrible.
Okay, so here's a poll question.
Oh, here's one for you. Kid at
Mm-hmm.
work put me onto this band, Grandma Train.
Grandma Train.
Gramma Train.
Okay. That
Not bad.
local or is that just kind of independent?
I guess it's just independent. I'd never heard of them, but that
Okay.
doesn't mean anything.
Being that we're Law Dog Sports, and I know this is going to be probably a detractor to our being here, I am no fan of Five Finger Death Punch.
Not so much. No,
I think
Eh,
it's douche music, man.
it totally is.
I mean,
Like
if
that's
I hear
lit,
if I hear Five Finger Death Punch, I know there's a lifted raptor
lifted raptor. Yeah,
rolling in and a
Rodozer
backwards cap and a dude that has really been trying to give himself cauliflower ear.
sleeves, sleeve
Yeah, that
tattoos. Yeah,
sleeve tat
tunnels.
total. And he's former military or former or current law enforcement, or fire. I mean, public safety of some sort.
Not a big
And
fan of
I
the
know
Five Finger
that's
Death
that's
Punch.
I know that's bashing against the base that I would love to attract, but that's just kind of how I feel when I hear them.
But they also listen to Pantera, so you're good.
Well, I mean, that was a different era, and
Sure.
Pantera was breaking new ground, and we don't have them anymore. You
You know,
know,
Zach Wilde is actually the lead guitarist for Pantera now.
is
Did you know that?
Anselmo going around as
And
the
Selma's going around as Pantera. Yeah.
man? I love his voice, and he's funny in interviews, but the way that all went down, I've still got mixed emotions.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
what was
because
the what was the name of Dime and his brother's
it
band
was
after
Damage
damn it.
Plan, or
Damage Plan. Yeah.
was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just a tragic thing, and I remember watching the behind the music about Pantera and that whole thing, and it was I don't know how. I'm sure the survival who Rex still alive, the bass player.
Yeah, it's the
He looks like death, but I guess he's
right.
still alive.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's the brothers that died, Dime and
yeah, Dime and Vinny Paul.
Vinny Paul.
The thing about Anselmo is if if he would form a super group with Jerry Cantrell, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. That
And
would be
and
cool.
he's performed with AIC in the past,
Yeah.
and he's probably the closest vocalist that can
Well,
touch.
so is Gretchen Wilson.
Was that a Heart tribute though?
Yeah,
She
that was
did Barracuda.
fantastic.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was just Jerry. I mean, or was William?
No, it was Alice in Chains was her backing band, the drummer, bass, and
Okay.
Jerry.
Yeah. I always thought Sean Kinney looked like he should be a UW linebacker.
I think the thing we're missing in all this is all these grunge bands in the 80s that had a member that looked just like Chevy Chase.
I think Screaming Trees had a bass player that looked like he was probably 48 at the time, back in their prime. It was the guy from Mad Season. I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
He was a bass player,
Screaming Trees
receding
only put out
hairline.
they only put out that one album, didn't they? which was fantastic.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love Screaming Trees.
yeah. No, they put out more than one.
Did they?
I think. I don't know. That guy died. The lead
Yeah.
singer of them.
It was
Mark
him and
Lanigan.
Andrew Wood were right around the same, close to the same time.
Pearl Jam should have stayed Mookie Blaylock.
Yeah, I know, but I think Mookie actually copyrighted his name, so
He didn't want
couldn't
that.
use it.
Just think about the jerseys he would have sold.
Sure.
All right. Anyways, well, while you were taking care of something, I kind of previewed the basketball game tonight for my team of note, the Weatherford Eagles, and that'll be a fun one on Squirtle. 8:30 is the tip off there at the Tournament of Champions semifinals. Well, listen, I tell you what, I was about to get all sentimental and stuff on the new year, but I'll steer clear of that since we talked music. But I tell you what, we'll put out a tweet kind of mentioning the bands that that might be a way to bring in some listeners is start dick riding these bands that we talk about on our social media.
Oh, so we're dick riding now. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm automatically sad that I use that phrase, but
Isn't Jerry Cantrell still local?
Boggy Depot.
Yeah.
I mean, his dad was from southeastern Oklahoma.
Yeah.
The Rooster.
Yeah. That's right.
And he did an album called Boggy Depot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
There you go.
Broken
Okay.
Bow. That's some odd territory down there. They found a dead alligator like 12 foot long in Broken Bow Lake one time.
Does not surprise me that
Yeah, they're
they
coming.
find in the lakes in Oklahoma.
As temperate as Oklahoma's becoming statewide, they're coming.
Fantastic. That's
No.
what we need now is some gators. Go out there and get you a gator.
Have you seen that meme, that video of the woman that says, how do you know if there's water in that gators in that water? She walks down there, puts her hand in it, and she goes, is that water wet? They're gators.
Next thing you know,
All
we're gonna have a shirtless Ed Orgeron running around Tulsa.
Go Tigers. Go Canes.
Go get me a gator.
Go get a gator. All right. He's Jeremy Schroeder. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Be sure and follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, X, and Instagram at Law Dog Sports. And also get a link to all of our podcast sites on lawdogsports.com. This is on our YouTube channel. We appreciate you tuning in. All of our wonderful fans, thank you so much. You made 2024 doable for us. And we appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, commenting, and making this broadcast a lot of fun. He's Jeremy Schroeder. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Tune in to us in 2025. We'll talk to you next year.